Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Wow, pretty mild out there tonight. Our temperatures are still in the mid-40s, even upper 40s from Decatur and Mattoon. There's a cold front that's just out to our west. It is heading in our direction, and eventually will bring our temperatures back down by tomorrow. But these southerly winds here, still keeping us warm. It's out here. Look how these winds change direction. Right over near Quincy, there's a cold front there, and it's going to move through. Notice there's not a lot of moisture across the area here, just a lot of cloud cover beginning to build in. For the kids at the bus stop, we will see temperatures in the mid-30s to start the day. We will find our way back up to the low 40s on the way home. Not looking too bad. Big cold snap next week. We'll show you that coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now, from WCIA 3 News.
Community leaders talked gun violence tonight after almost 100 shooting incidents so far this year. But before they even started, they had to add another to the list.
Every time I look at it, I get frustrated.
And she isn't the only one dealing with a broken down car from a now closed dealership. How you might be able to get your money back.
Some teachers hope to sport a new do for the holidays, but only if you can help them out.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Just a half hour before community leaders were set to talk about gun violence in Champaign-Urbana tonight, a man was shot on the west side of one of those cities. It happened on Kenwood Road between Country Brook Apartments and Gramercy Park Apartments in Champaign. That's the same area where a series of shots were fired on Monday. Police say the victim tonight was shot inside a home. He was taken to the hospital. No word on how he's doing. Now, this shooting comes just a few days after a 10-year-old boy was shot in his Champaign home. And as police continue to investigate all of this, a community meeting was held to talk about preventing gun violence. People from neighborhoods in both Champaign and Urbana joined the conversation. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen was at that meeting. She joins us now live in Champaign. So Jennifer, what came out of tonight's discussion?
Jessica, people who live in both cities, as well as school leaders, police, and many more, like you said, joined in on that conversation tonight. And during those 2 hours, they pinpointed specific proactive ways that both of the cities and communities can join together to create ideas to help people avoid turning to gun violence.
It doesn't make sense for, y'all to have these guns and, taking our kids' lives.
Yvonne Johnson knows the agony that comes after a deadly shooting. Her 16-year-old son, David Sankey, was killed, shot in the head outside his home last year.
For a person that picks up a gun, that is a coward way out. A real person, a human. You don't kill another human.
There have been 97 shooting incidents in Champaign so far this year and 31 in Urbana. People are dying because of the gun violence.
How do we keep our neighborhoods safe?
That's the question those who showed up to this neighborhood safety meeting are actively trying to answer.
With all of our shootings and things like that, we're just reacting to those. Now we're trying to find solutions to have a long-term goal of ending this.
At each table, people from both Champaign and Urbana shared ideas like creating more community gatherings and forming more groups to help build trust, connections, and relationships with people who may get involved in gun violence. Another suggestion was creating more jobs, especially for those previously incarcerated, to avoid starting or returning to violence. One of the other main concerns revolved around how this affects young people.
I am so afraid for these kids, because it's, the gun violence is getting worse and worse. And I just want these kids to understand, two things are going to happen. Either you're going to get killed or you're going to go to jail. When you shoot a gun, you got to know it's consequences behind that.
At the end of the night, people also brought up the importance of doing more to address youth trauma through mentorship and supporting them with more fulfilling ways to live their lives. This group will be doing more community safety meetings just like this one that happened tonight. They will be switching between different neighborhoods in both Champaign and Urbana, but the next location and date has not been set yet. Live in Champaign, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. Now, as you heard in that story, young kids in Champaign have been affected by all of this recent violence, and a group of them is doing something positive to give back. Students at Garden Hills Elementary are practicing singing during their lunch break. They're getting ready for a concert this Saturday. Their choir director says doing something like this helps students deal with what they've been through.
You don't hear about the violence. We see it. We live it. And it's important for all of us to look at what we can do, each of us, to bring peace. And that's what we're going to do.
Saturday's concert is at 7 p.m. at the Virginia Theater. All of the money raised through ticket sales goes to Developmental Services Center.
New at 10, a man is dead after being shot in Decatur tonight. It happened at the Decatur Inn on North Water Street. The 21-year-old was taken to the hospital where he later died. Police are not releasing his name. That investigation continues. A man's in critical condition after he was shot in the head. The 40-year-old was found sitting in a car outside of Springfield at Elliott and Wesley. The Sangamon County Sheriff's Office is asking if anyone saw a black Ford Edge in the area between 2 and 2:30, or if anyone has any information on the shooting, to call them or Crime Stoppers. No word on any suspects.
We have an update from yesterday. The Urbana High School student accused of bringing a BB gun to a school parking lot was in court today. Talvin Joyner is charged with disorderly conduct. The criminal complaint says the BB gun looked real and caused panic. The person who called police said they saw Joyner take the gun out of his trunk and put it in his front seat. Now, that situation with that BB gun prompted people to create a petition in favor of 2 full-time school resource officers in Urbana. The petition already has more than 120 signatures. The Urbana School Board and City Council already approved the full-time SRO plan, but people are showing support before the State Board of Education votes on it in 2 weeks.
A program in Decatur is hoping to give ex-offenders a chance to get back on their feet. The Decatur Transitional Housing Complex has about 50 beds for men and women. Plans to have a Fresh Start program to help people released from prison get a state ID, medical insurance, and food allowance. Program instructors will then decide whether they need a GED or other programs to boost educational skills. The administrator says they're trying to give them the skills to better themselves.
We're trying to help prevent that reentry that we hear so much about, where people come out and they get that second chance, but they are not successful at it and they end up reentering.
Their goal is to be open and have residents by the end of the year. A rally for mental health resources at the U of I is being rescheduled. Organizers say they were expecting more than 100 people this morning, but a concern from the university caused a change in plans. The group started in a class before growing on social media. It's a policy violation to use class time for a required demonstration. The rescheduled demonstration will take place Wednesday at noon. Early plans to put a university in downtown Springfield have started to circulate. Both UIS and SIU have shown interest, but it would require a lot of work. The mayor and the universities don't have a concrete plan, but the idea would require relocating some area businesses. The mayor says a public forum will be announced in the coming weeks to gauge interest.
We have a follow-up to a story our Target 3 team has been investigating. In October, we were the first ones to tell you the Attorney General is investigating a used car dealer that suddenly shut down. Dozens of drivers have told us their cars quit working just days after they bought them at the Auto Mall of Champaign, and that the dealer refused to fix them. But if that happened to you, there's still a chance you could get your money back.
You used to be able to use this buyer's guide that would say as is, no warranties. That was the old days. Now that's modified by Illinois law that says that there is a dealer warranty.
So if you bought a used car from a dealer with 150,000 miles or less, Illinois law says you have a warranty that lasts for 500 miles or 15 days, whichever comes first. If your car has a problem within that time, the dealer has to fix it for $100 or less. If they don't, you might be able to take them to court, and if that happened to you, you have 3 years to sue them. There's much more to this story than what we just told you. On our website, we have an update on another unhappy Auto Mall customer we introduced you to a few weeks ago. Plus, we have an extended interview with a lawyer on what you can do if you're driving a dud. And we can tell you more about where the Auto Mall's cars went. That's all on WCIA.com right now.
Toys for Tots is back for another year. What organizers say this one might be more challenging.
Plus, wind farms can be a controversial topic, and it's no different in a town where one is going up. Why some argue this is a good thing.
And one wrestler from Urbana wasn't supposed to debut as an Illini this season. Why he's now finding himself on the mat.